Learning how to update a project is extremely important. The first major step in project control is creating and setting a baseline. The second and equally important part of our course is updating the project in Primavera P6. Therefore, this is one of the most important sessions in this course because effective project updating enables you to monitor progress, compare actual performance against the baseline, identify delays, and make informed decisions to keep the project on track. Once the baseline has been set, when start updating the activities with their actual data, the project updating process begins. Progress updating is a regular job. It should be carried out at defined intervals, such as hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly, depending on the project's requirements and the level of control needed. Actuals are the actual activity data used to monitor and control the progress of a project. Actuals can include schedule dates and durations, resource usage, and project and activity expenses. There are a variety of methods that can be used for updating the project. A single method does not need to be used exclusively. Multiple updating methods can be used within a single project. There are several methods available for updating a project in P6. The method you use depends on your organization's procedures and the requirements of your project. The first two methods are apply actuals and update progress. We have already discussed these methods in detail in the earlier session. If you refer to that session, you'll find a complete explanation of how they work. In this session, we will focus on the other project updating methods available in Primavera P6. Another method of updating project progress is by using timesheets. Timesheets allow team members to record the actual hours they have worked on assigned activities and submit them for approval. Once the timesheet is submitted, the project manager reviews it. If the recorded hours are correct, the timesheet is approved, and the actual hours are applied to the project schedule. This method provides highly accurate progress data because it is based on the actual time worked by each resource. If you are updating activities using timesheets, do not enable the Auto Compute Actuals option. Otherwise, Primavera P6 may automatically recalculate the actual values and overwrite the actual data that was entered through the timesheets. At present, this is only for information, and we are not going to demonstrate. Manual update. Manual updating is the most commonly preferred method of updating a project. The main reason is that it allows you to enter the actual project status exactly as it exists on site. This ensures that the schedule accurately reflects the current progress and provides reliable historical data for future reference. Because the information is entered based on actual site conditions, manual updating is considered one of the most accurate and reliable methods of project updating. Another important concept in project updating is the data date. As we update the data date, the project schedule is recalculated and changes accordingly. The data date represents the point in time up to which actual project progress has been recorded, and it serves as the reference date for scheduling the remaining work. To update the project, first open the required project in Primavera P6. Before starting the update, always make sure that the correct baseline is assigned to the project. We have already discussed how to assign and display the baseline in the previous session. Now, let's use one of the features in P6, the Spotlight option. Go to View Spotlight and enable it. Or you can use the toolbar to select Spotlight. Then select the period up to which you want to update the project. In this example, selecting the 31st of July as the data date. Once selected, Primavera highlights all the activities that fall within the selected update period. This makes it much easier to identify which activities need to be updated. Now let's start updating the activities. The first activity is engineering design. This activity started and finished exactly as planned. Therefore, there are no changes. The original duration is 5 days, and the actual duration is also 5 days. Since the work was completed as planned, no further changes are required. Next, let's update another activity. This activity also started and finished, but it required one additional day to complete. The original duration was 5 days, while the actual duration became 6 days. Because of this extra day, the associated resource usage also increased. If you check the resource assignments, you can see that the budgeted units increased from 28 to 58, reflecting the additional effort required. Now let's take another activity. This activity also started and finished successfully, but it was completed 1 day earlier than planned. As a result, the actual duration is reduced by 1 day. If you check the budgeted units, the plan value was 36, but the activity was actually completed using, say, 30 units. This shows that the work was completed more efficiently than originally planned. So far, we have updated activities that are fully completed. Now, let's move on to updating an in-progress activity. To understand the behavior of an in-progress activity, let's use a simple example. In this project, there is one activity with an original duration of 10 days and budgeted units of 1,000 units. Suppose the activity starts on the 1st of July. The task was originally supposed to take 10 days. You are exactly halfway through the timeline, having spent 5 days' work, actual duration, leaving 5 days left to go, remaining duration. This perfectly matches the 50% duration complete metric. During those first 5 days, 500 units of work have been completed. Here, the units are updated automatically. Now update the project by setting the data date to the morning of the 6th of July at 7 a.m. and schedule the project. The activity will show, at completion duration equals 10 days. Remaining duration equals 5 days. Duration percent complete equals 50%. Actual units equals 500 units. Now, manually change the actual units from 500 to 600 units. Then if you again change the duration percent complete to 50%, you will notice that the actual units automatically return to 500 units. This happens because the following option is enabled. In Project window at the Calculations tab, recalculate actual units and cost when duration percent complete changes is enabled. When this option is checked, Primavera automatically recalculates the actual units and actual cost whenever the duration percent complete is modified. Now, uncheck this option and return to the Activities window. Again set the actual units to 600 units, and then change the duration percent complete to 50%. This time, the actual units remain at 600 units. Only the remaining duration is adjusted according to the percentage complete. The duration percentage no longer affects the actual units. If you enable the option again, recalculate actual units and cost when duration percent complete changes, and Primavera will once again recalculate the actual units based on the duration percentage. For this reason, planners prefer to disable this option while updating project progress. Otherwise, manual changes to units may be overwritten automatically during schedule updates. Now let's change the percent complete type from duration percent complete to physical percent complete. Go to the General tab of the activity and change the percent complete type to physical. Next, open the Status tab and enter physical percent complete equals 80%. Notice that the all budgeted units do not change. The project calculation option is still enabled, but changing the physical percent complete does not recalculate the budgeted values. Now change the remaining duration from 3 days to 6 days. You will notice that the labor units are recalculated automatically. This happens because the recalculate actual units and cost when duration percent complete changes calculation option is still enabled. Although the activity is using physical percent complete, the remaining duration is still linked to the resource units. Therefore, changing the remaining duration can still affect the labor units when this calculation option is enabled. This means that the relationship is between duration and resource units, not simply between the selected percent complete type and resource units. Now disable the option. By uncheck the recalculate actual units and cost when duration percent complete changes option. After disabling this option, if you change the remaining duration again. This time, the labor units remain unchanged. Primavera no longer recalculates the actual units based on changes in duration. Another important calculation option is subtract actual from at completion to compute remaining. When this option is enabled, Primavera calculates remaining units equals at completion units minus actual units.